The LGBTQ plus community is filled with a diverse amount of people. As many people know, each letter in the acronym stands for a unique identity. L is lesbian, G is gay, B is bisexual, T is transgender, Q is queer, and plus is one of the most important ones because the plus signifies all the other identities that go beyond LGBTQ.
But the question is, how do I become an ally? Well, like most things, education is key. It's important for you to learn the language and know how to use the terms correctly. Today, we'll just be touching the tip of the iceberg in terms of identities. If you want to learn more, there are great resources out there, such as the Human Rights Campaign website, the GLAD website, or here in Toronto, we have the 519, which has a great website with many resources.
There are two main aspects of the LGBTQ plus community: sexual orientation and gender identity. Sexual orientation is about who you are attracted to and is split between people who are heterosexual and homosexual. People who are heterosexual are attracted to the opposite gender, whereas people who are homosexual are attracted to people of the same gender. With gender identity, it's about who you identify as and how you present yourself to the world. This is split up between people who are cisgender and people who are transgender or non-binary. People who are cisgender are people who are born the identity that they feel represents them. For example, I was born a woman and I identify as a woman. However, there are people that are transgender and gender non-binary, those who do not identify with the gender they were assigned at birth.
Today, we're going to cover 5 sexual orientations. However, there are many more. The 3 that people are most familiar with are gay, which is a man who's attracted to another man, lesbian, which is a woman who's attracted to another woman, and bisexual, which is a person who is attracted to either gender.
Here are 2 that you may not have heard about or learned about too much. The first is pansexual. Pansexual is somebody who is attracted to all people, regardless of gender identity or sex. Some of you may be wondering, what's the difference between pansexual and bisexual? Bisexual comes from bi, meaning 2. This is someone who is specifically attracted to 2 genders, man and woman. Pansexual is about all. They're attracted to men and women, but they can also be attracted to those who do not identify as a man or a woman. They're attracted to just the person. The next is asexual. As some of you may notice, every single sexual orientation mentioned is dependent on who you like. However, there are many people who identify as asexual, meaning that they do not feel attraction to anybody.
Biological sex is the sex that we are assigned at birth. Most people think of this as male or female. However, there's a third sex, which is intersex. This is when an individual is born with both male and female biological traits. Many people may not have heard of the word intersex. However, it's a lot more common than you may think. 1.7% of Canadians are born intersex, equivalent to the same number of people who are born with red hair in Canada.
The first identity we'll talk about is transgender. Transgender is someone who does not identify with the sex they were assigned at birth. For example, someone who is born with male biological traits may identify at any age, young or old, that they are a female. The next identity is gender non-binary. This is somebody who does not identify with either male or female genders and identifies with a third gender. In 2018, Ontario officially recognized the third gender, where they allowed people to get new driver's license and birth certificates that changed the gender that they were originally assigned, being M or F for male or female, to gender X, to recognize that they identified with this third identity. As Nicole mentioned with intersex, this is great at acknowledging people who are scientifically born with both genders so that they can identify with being intersex by having both male and female biological traits and identify as gender X, neither male or female. A significant population within Canada, our First Nations people, have long recognized the identity of being two-spirited. Two-spirited refers to someone who has two spirits, being the spirit of a male and the spirit of a female.
All right, so to conclude this video, we've talked about a lot today. We've talked about terms that you may have already heard, such as gay or lesbian, or terms that you haven't heard before, such as asexual, gender non-binary, or intersex. It's important for everyone to understand what these terms mean so that they're able to acknowledge others' identities and build deeper connections.
Join us next week where we'll be inviting office allies such as Rennie, Quinn, Jackie Evans, and Bailey Title to have a conversation with us about how to be an ally within the workplace and in your everyday lives.